Today we're going to be talking about 3D elements inside a Panzoid video editor and also inside a Panzoid Clipmaker. So let's get into it. So first of all, I'm actually going to show you guys how you guys can just do it inside of Panzoid Video Editor, but I would highly recommend actually taking work from Panzoid Clipmaker and actually importing that into this, which I am going to be showing you. But first of all, let me just show you how to do it inside of the editor itself. So what you can do is you can look at the screen right here, and basically you want to take this 3D scene and you want to actually bring that down into your timeline and click on it. So once you do that, you're gonna see this white box appear over your video clip, and basically that's meaning you have selected it and you're ready to edit it. With that, you want to come over to the side area now and click on this 3D box / objects option, and when you click on that, it's going to show you everything within your 3D scene. So you're going to see the camera. If you need to add anything, you can press the add button. You can add shapes, text, lights, particles, groups, cameras, and just like an OBJ model, for instance. But we actually are not going to be doing that because, for instance, you can see right here all the parameters and stuff, and you can only do that. You can't do anything inside the viewer, and it's not very easy to move around inside of 3D inside of the actual video editor. But if you wanted to do that, you can either double click and just type in the number for it, or you can actually click and drag using your left mouse click, or you can even do drop down menus like that by just left clicking on them. But with that, that's about all you can really do inside the 3D elements inside of this one. But I'm going to be showing you guys how to use the Clipmaker option also and importing that into this, so you can actually do a lot more cool advanced things, and it's actually fairly simple. So let's get into that. Basically, you would actually want to go to their website, which looks like this. And now that you're actually there, you're going to see these three different options. You have a Clipmaker, backgrounder, and video editor. So what we were on originally was this video editor option, but what we want to do is click on the Clipmaker option. Once it actually opens, it's going to look something like this. I'm going to go over real quickly the basics of it, but just like the video editor, you have this multi-panel is kind of what I would call it. You have your timeline down at the bottom. You have media playback actually here with the zoom options there. You have your viewer right here, which basically allows you to be able to move around in their 3D space. With that, you have options to create new project, load, save, or upload to creations. What you can do with this is upload to the creations and then take from creations. So for instance, these are all different options that someone has actually created and uploaded to the creations page, but I wouldn't really recommend that because then it's actually public to anyone and anyone can actually take that. With this, you can click on this to see the menu for it, and you can see all the names for everything, which is super nifty. So with that, you have your project, basics, your scene, objects, effects, camera, audio plus music, download, about, and feedback. Basically, what you'd want to do is click on the basics one, and this is where you would change your resolution, everything basic like that. Your video length and total. Then underneath that, you have your scene option, which you can select from a few different things. So you can select outdoors, and you can change from like dark, stormy, cloudy light rays, and it'll basically just load that in. You can say if you want land or not. So I don't want land, for instance. And it will actually change that inside of the viewer right next to it. So, and you can look around that and do everything else. So now that we actually have that, I actually don't want that, so I'm going to choose something else, and I'm going to just leave it like that, for instance. So under that, it's the objects panel. So just like before, you have your objects, and you can do like text and different things like that. I'm just going to add a basic box shape, for instance, just for this example, because I do want to actually talk to you guys about moving around in the 3D scene. Basically, you have this, and then if you come over to the right, you can actually see the entire scene. So with this, you can actually scroll in or out, or literally just click it and move your mouse up and down. That is one of the options. You can also click and hold down the left click button, and now if you move around at all, it's going to pivot around the center of the screen. Then you also have your right click. So basically this is just moving you in like a 2D plane. So instead of moving X, Y, and Z, you're just moving the X and Y. So if you do a right click and hold, you can see that it's still just staying there, even though we're moving to the left, right, and up and down, which is super awesome. It's kind of hard to just explain it vocally to you. You kind of just have to do it and kind of feel it. So with that, you can actually do this and select onto objects. You can animate position and everything in there, which is completely fine. But what I would highly also recommend is clicking on your camera option. And when you do this, you can actually see, if I can turn around real quick, you can see the little point, and you can also see these yellow lines, which, by the way, these yellow lines are actually the view that it's seeing. So if I move a tiny bit, you can actually see right down here that it has that line that you can actually see, kind of like there's a box, and it basically has this giant box out in front, kind of like this. And with that box, it's basically exactly all that it can see. And if you guys actually want to see what the final result would look like, you can even just come down underneath it and click on this eye tool, and it will show you exactly what the camera is seeing. With that, you can take this, animate it. You also have above that camera option, you have your effects, where you can add things like your negative, invert colors, grayscale. There's a lot you can do with that. You also have an option to actually add music, which you definitely can. I would personally not recommend adding your music here, and I would recommend actually adding it inside the video editor. You can even just come over to, for instance, the left side. You can even just download it, for instance. You can do the export right here, start video render, and it will start the download and everything else like that. But you don't have to do that. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. So if you come up to the projects area, you can actually press the save project. It's going to press save. You can press download project file, and now it should download it onto your computer, and it will say like, thank you for downloading. And it will start soon, and it just pulls it up real quick. And now that we actually have that, you can go back to the main website, go to the video editor, and now that you're actually here, you can press this button right up here where it actually allows you to load in a project. You click on that, select whatever PZ file that it exported, press the open button, and now if you can see, if I can show you guys, it literally will put a clip / whatever was in that timeline into this one. And now that you have that, you can see you can have it selected, you can move it, you could even potentially animate a few things, but then if you wanted to move the entire thing without like moving the camera, for instance, inside of that, you could do it inside of here. You can also add the music underneath, but you can select it, and if you go up into the objects panel, you can see every different thing inside of that scene. So those are the two main different ways of being able to do this, but I do want to show you guys one final way, which is kind of a combination of both of them. So if you go up here, you can actually see this little waffle or whatever. So we've looked at the Clipmaker and we've looked at the video editor. If you click on the Clipmaker 3 preview, basically what this is a combination in between both of them. So it normally is going to be still very short or whatever, and you can see we have a scene right here, and you can add 3D scenes, but it's a lot closer to their video editor. You do have the 3D scene though. With that said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We do have a playlist over here talking more about it. We have a full walkthrough. We also have a few other videos about like green screening and different things like that if you want to learn about that. We also have a video over here that YouTube recommends for you. And with that said, guys, remember, keep on editing.